All right, so yesterday I said that it was almost strange when you see a guy in a peacock chair, but that's not really what I meant. What I meant was, sorry, I'm in Indonesia. I'm in Cirebon, which happens to be a very hot city, and it's the city where a lot of peacock chair makers are. And so I've been working here for almost 4 years with the peacock chair makers. And yesterday I did a live about how the peacock chair is a male, because it is. The peacock chair is modeled and designed after the male peacock. And then I said something like, it's almost strange if a guy's in it, but that's not what I meant. Actually, I think what I meant was that we just don't see a lot of guys in peacock chairs. Mostly we see women in it. And okay, if I'm being totally honest, I think it's because of the women in today's society, and I'm one of them, where we think about doing all aspects of life, including work. And I don't know, I think it has to do with stepping into a masculine energy. And so women have stepped into a more masculine energy. And that's why I think you see a lot of women in peacock chairs. But, I mean, photographed in peacock chairs. But really, it was made for the man. And so maybe the woman in the prison in Manila who originated this chair, maybe she made the male peacock, excuse me, peacock chair because she made it for him. And after all, I mean, she killed him, and I'm sure she loved him. That's why she ended up in prison. But maybe that's what it was. Maybe she thought it was so beautiful and so rare and so special. And maybe after being in prison and realizing what she had done, no matter what he had done, she made this chair. And I guess what it is like, gosh, now I'm feeling emotional. Because I've really wanted to know what the story was behind her and why she would one, kill him. And I don't want to assume anything. And then why she would make this chair, which in Indonesia is called the king chair. So yesterday I said, that it was almost strange to see a guy in the peacock chair, but that's not what I meant. What I meant is that it's rare when you see a guy in the peacock chair. And I also think that the design of the peacock chair, like most people, when they sit down in a peacock chair, they get this look on their face. It's almost like, honestly, like if you were to place a crown on top of a child's head. You know how they get that cute little innocent smile? And it's almost like that I see with people when they sit in the peacock chair, because they realize that there's this backdrop that's backdropping them, and that they've become the center of the frame. And so most, if you're sitting in a peacock chair somewhere, it's most likely going to grab somebody's attention, especially if it's in a public place. And this is one of the dreams that I have, is to be able to do peacock chairs in a public place, so that these moments can be created with individuals and with groups, because it's like it fans, and so it can create kind of like this little huddle effect. But I think it has a lot to do with the person sitting in the chair and how comfortable they are with being seen. And so once in a while we'll see guys in the peacock chair. I mean, JFK, who else? Who else have you guys seen that's a man in a peacock chair? Bruno Mars. There's a rapper. I mean, there's just so many guys, but there's so many women too. But the point that I was making yesterday, maybe because we've been talking about the masculine feminine energy a lot, or at least I hear it a lot and I'm drawn to it, that I wanted to believe that the reason why she did, the woman who made the first peacock chair, the reason why she did make it was because she thought he was so beautiful. She thought her husband was so beautiful and so special. And I guess if we dig deep enough, or if I dig deep enough, I can find out why she did kill him. I'll never know. I mean, maybe no one will ever know why she did it, but she did. And it was in the Manila prison where the peacock chair first originated. And my thinking yesterday was that as she sat in this chair that she made that represented him, who was her king in her life, and as she sat in that chair, she knew she was his queen. And, or maybe it was kind of like she felt like she conquered the situation and that he no longer ruled and that she did. But it's definitely a symbol of, So yeah, it's a symbol of beauty. It definitely represented him. The peacock chair definitely represented him. And I guess I was taking it from a more loving perspective. Freaking, this guy wants me to fix my website. I have all these errors on my website. And so if you are interested actually in seeing my collection of peacock chairs, you can see them on my website. And if you, damn it, sorry, he is very persistent. It says, invite Grumpy Woman to join live as a guest. Would I want to invite Grumpy Woman in the room? I don't know. But anyway, if you go and look at my peacock chairs, please give me a review on my website and please tell me, why does it do this? Hey guys, I don't really want to do this.
Hello.
How is it? How are you on my live?
Azeri.
Do you speak English?
Azeri.
Okay, we can't invite you to the live if you're not
Azeri.
Sorry. You can't stay. You cannot stay because you don't speak English. Sorry, buddy. If you were to speak, yeah, can you just not be here? Can you just not be here on my live? Because you're distracting me. You're so distracting. 3. How do I get? Okay. Does anybody understand? Okay, if you guys are able to make a comment, can you tell me if you see somebody else on my screen? Anyway, get this guy off. How to maintain a winning streak. If you're located in a different region from the creator, the rules for competing in winning streak. Guys, I just pushed a button and somebody else is on my leave match. Yes, I lose. I do not
Kullan.
even care.
Kullan.
Thank you. All right. So going back to what I was saying yesterday, and then I'm going to jump off because it's hot here. I'm in Cirebon, Indonesia. This is the town where the peacock chairs make home vestures, peacock chairs, and where home vestures, peacock chair makers are. I was talking yesterday about the woman who originated the peacock chair, and she was a prisoner in the Manila prison, and she allegedly killed her husband. And so yesterday I kind of had this romanticized view of, I don't know, like him, her husband, carrying her across the threshold, and that maybe it held this memory for her of that time, and sitting in the chair kind of held that memory. But it might have also held the memory of his pride. It could have held the memory of him being a ruler. It could have held a memory of him getting all the attention and her not. And so that's really what the peacock chair is. It's an attention chair, and it represents a specific grandeur to beauty, and it has a delicate nature because it's made from the silk of all woods. And I'm looking over in this direction because I have another one that's just like it, a pair of them, in this seating area where I'm at. And by the way, it's like 2:56 a.m. here in Indonesia. I'm about 13 hours ahead of New York. I think 16 hours ahead of San Francisco. So I'm still adjusting to the timeline here. But rattan is a hardwood, and it comes in 200 different varieties or species. And it just grows in the forests in Indonesia. And Indonesia has 80% of the rattan. It grows, 80% of the rattan grows in Indonesia. And what's really interesting is I've thought about what's happening on our planet with plastic and everything like that. In Indonesia, where they're positioning in the organic industry with rattan, is that they're very strict about who can export, like who can have this raw material. So it doesn't ever go out. It goes out rarely. Like the percentage of the raw material that actually goes out to another country is low, like maybe 20%. They keep a real strong hold on it. And so what they want is they want to hold the raw material, and they want their people to be making from it. But what's happened is, and this has just been over the course of almost 8 years now of my research and working in this industry, is there's a couple of things that are happening, and that is that when I embarked on this journey, the harvesters weren't making much money. I mean, they were lucky if they made $3.50 for all day. And so a lot of the harvesters abandoned this industry and went on to like rubber. So so when I got in, there was like a high demand for Scandinavian rattan furniture, which was a really clean white rattan. And what they do in that situation is they actually take the outer skin off of the rattan. And they call it polished because they polish it so that outer skin comes off, which is like a thin bark, but that bark actually is what makes the material last long. But when they take the bark off, there's a lot of things that they can do with the material, like they can bleach it, they can paint it, and so that's what happened. So rattan got this really white look because of that, and then it just, I don't know. I think that people have connected this idea of white as being clean and pure, and so if it's not white, it's not safe. So, and we think about bleaches and borax and different things that whiten. But the truth is, when you think about the stuff that's really good for us, like whole grains, whole wheats, they're not white. So anyway, that was an era in rattan, and Home Vestures is working to actually just work with the raw material straight up, the way that it comes out of the forest, and then to look at and observe how it's interacting with the environment and the longevity of it. And what we're finding is that rattan can last decades if it's kept inside your home, which is logical because a lot of people look at rattan as outside furniture, but think about any furniture that you put outside, especially if you're in a really hot place. It's not going to do okay. It's just not. It doesn't matter what it's made out of except for metal. Even your car is not going to do okay. So if you're creating settings outside with furniture, you have to just accept that it's going to fade, it's not going to last, it's not going to look good after a while. But the difference with rattan is when it starts fading, it still has like this I want to say architectural beauty, because the structure still holds this aesthetic. Whereas a lot of times when we're dealing with manufactured outdoor furniture that has straight lines and so forth, maybe a traditional look, a simple thing is, just changing out the fabric on your cushions could give it an instant refresh. But if it's all one piece and all attached, then chances are it's going to start fading. It's not going to look good, and you're going to be stuck with like this set of furniture that just looks old. And it might also be the same with some of your furniture inside your home. So what I'm saying about the peacock chair is that if you look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful, but it's not practical, or it is practical because it's the chair that you want people to sit on who are sweaty, who are dirty, kids that are eating, say, ice cream cones, or because you can always wash it off and rinse it off and just let it air dry. But you have to give it a certain care, just like your clothing in your closet. Each type has a different care. So if you're washing your jeans, you can put them on the heavy cycle in the washing machine. If you're washing silk, you might want to take it to the dry cleaner. So rattan is the silk of all woods. And it doesn't mean you can't use it in your home. It just means that it has an appropriate application, and it also has an appropriate weight. So what I did was I actually started making chairs that would hold really heavy people, because I have heavy people in my family. And I thought, oh, this isn't going to work. This chair that only holds 250, 300 pounds, we need something that's going to be stronger. And I also wanted people to look at the chair and go, I can sit in that. And so that's what we've done is we've created an heirloom collection that can hold like 500 pounds. And the Indonesian legacy chairs that hold like 250 pounds, they're great too, but just your company needs to know that it's kind of like a tricycle. If you're too big for it, you're just too big for it. And, I've told my kids that want to get on a toy or something like that, hey, you're too big for that. And so I don't think it's awkward. Okay, let's just say that. It is awkward to have to tell somebody, especially an adult that wants to sit in your peacock chair, that they're too big for your chair. And if I'm being honest, that bigness is actually having a huge impact on a lot of industries. And what that means is, having to create new systems for a new weight class. And a lot of like hospitality people that are in the design business want furniture that's gonna hold weight. And I think the problem with that is that they want it for the same price. So, and we know that the iteration on anything takes time, and then, you've got a completely different product. It looks similar and recognizable, but it's not the same thing. So, just to set the record straight on yesterday, when I was talking about the peacock chair is male, and it is. It's a male chair, and here in Indonesia, it is considered the king chair. In America, it's considered the peacock chair. What is it considered in your country? And who do you see gravitating more towards the peacock chair? Men or women? Or does it seem equal on both sides? But I would have to say that my preference, and maybe it's because I'm a woman, but I think that a man is so handsome seated in a peacock chair. It's almost like this leather and lace juxtaposing of the man with the chair, because the peacock chair is kind of lacy. So I think peacock chairs in a cigar lounge, or even like in a juice bar, in a green juice bar, or in breezeways and foyers, in bathrooms, especially if you have a big bathroom, in bedrooms, in living rooms. I love to put a couple peacock chairs at long dining tables. So they are definitely the saffron in the mix. Home vestures represent home clothing. So vestures is a biblical word for clothing, and it comes from the passage where Christ was on the road of Calvary, and they parted his vestures. So home vestures signifies how we clothe our homes. And what that really means is Christ consciousness is a thought, is the way we think. And so you can apply the way we think to our home clothing, just like you can think about your closet, the clothing that you have in your closet, and the way you think about your clothes. So if you're like a sports person, then your closet may be sports clothes curated and thought of. So when I say Christ consciousness, it's just, it means that somebody that's focused on him and how they would translate that in their home. So it's the same thing, like if you're looking at your closet and you love denim jeans and silk blouses and leather belts, then, your home might reflect something that has that eclectic nature. If you have small kids and you're not going to wear a silk blouse during the day, you're going to wear something that can get dirty, then your home is going to reflect that. But it doesn't mean that you still can't have something really cute as part of the collection, as part of the home wardrobe. So I really think that a beautiful home consists of a balanced wardrobe of all types. And if you think from the shoes up, to your underwear, it all means something, and it all adds to the outfit. So I definitely would say, look at your home and go, do I have a balance here, or am I just all spandex? And if that's the case, you might want to bring in some organics, and which is woods and which includes rattan, and I don't know, like potteries and stone and different things like that. But that's a little bit more about home vestures. And again, about yesterday, when I was talking about it was strange when you see a guy in the peacock chair, I think it's really because women have latched onto it. And I can't speak for all women, but maybe it's because the women want to be seen too. But it was made for the man. And it's beautiful when men sit in the peacock chair. So I would just have to say that my favorite is creating peacock chairs that men can sit in. And because we have plenty that women can sit in. But now we have more that guys can sit in. So, hey, I hope you guys have a great day. It's 3:11 here in Cirebon, Indonesia. And we'll be talking to you later. Big love.